Angela Fraser. I am 25 years old. I'm an American citizen, but I currently live in Canada. I'm married to a Canadian citizen. I am currently in the process of getting my citizenship to be a dual citizen. I consider myself to be a capitalist, like to the core. I was born in Idaho. I grew up mostly in Alaska. In 2005, my family moved to Canada. My dad got a job transfer there. I had a conversation with Sean Fraser the other day. He videotaped it. I looked like a terrible mess. It was just more natural when he was talking to me, so I'm going to kind of jump back and forth between the two conversations. It's the same topic, just why I became a conservative and why I'm a capitalist, why I am in the fight for liberty and freedom. I grew up in a very religious family, very Christian. We went to church every Sunday. When it came to politics, I just wasn't interested. Like, I kind of kept up on current events, but not really. Like, I was more interested in, what happened on my favorite sitcom. I don't think, mostly growing up, I really had no idea about anything about politics. I actually really didn't care for it. I thought, oh, well, ever since George Washington came in and we've had like this whole history of like presidents and stuff, everything seems to be going great. Like, we're a free country, and you just preach to your whole life that this is the most amazing nation on earth. We're the only free nation on earth, which obviously is incorrect about the only free nation on earth. And you just get this whole American pride thing going, which isn't a bad thing, but I just kind of took it for granted and just figured, everything would always stay the same the way it was, because God had given us this free land and it was always going to be free, and we had a system, a constitution and everything set up that, no corruption could seep in, and I thought it was ironclad, so I just thought, politicians are the ones in charge of it, like, they represent the people, so, obviously everything's good. I don't need to keep up to date on current events, is how I sort of, lived my life. I think the 2008 election with Obama, and I had a friend that was like really like going towards Romney. Obviously in 2008 Romney wasn't a candidate. He had run in the primary, but he wasn't in the general election. But I had a friend that just kept saying like, oh, like Obama's a socialist, Obama's this and that, and I had no idea what a socialist was, to be quite honest. Like, I really didn't know any terms, and I believed what he said, but I had no idea what he was saying, so it's just like, whatever, it doesn't really matter anyways, because everything's gonna, like, whoever gets in office, it's just gonna be America. Like, obviously sometimes you don't agree with whoever's in office, but it always seems to turn out okay. And after the 2008 election happened, and as the years kind of progressed through that first term, I think it was 2010 that I really had an eye-opener. I read Atlas Shrugged because I wanted to get the scholarship for the essay, and so I was like, oh, I'll read this giant book, write an awesome essay, and get $10,000 or whatever. And so I read the book. I wrote a terrible essay, but I think, reading that book really was the pivot point in my life into becoming a conservative and a capitalist, and, getting those objectivist ideals from Ayn Rand. Obviously, she's not alive anymore, but she is like one of my biggest mentors now. After I read that book, my mom was watching Glenn Beck, to be more specific, and I'd watched CNN and I'd watched those other networks, the mainstream media, and I always felt like I wasn't getting really information. But after I saw his, first couple of episodes I saw in, like, I think it was, the fall of 2010, that I was just like, oh my gosh, like, he's talking exactly like Ayn Rand would talk if she was a man in this century. Like, I just thought, he knows what's going on. He's telling the truth in this, because I felt like what happened in Atlas Shrugged was actually occurring right now in our lives. And the fact that he was just stating everything that was going on for what it was, and he always said at the end of like every episode, you know, look for yourself, figure it out for yourself, research it yourself. But I think that was when I first really became a conservative and knew what capitalism and socialism was reading Atlas Shrugged and watching a few episodes of Glenn Beck. After reading that book, it was just my pivot point from there to become a conservative, you know, like really become a conservative. I think I was a conservative before that, kind of, but I didn't really know what a conservative was. I didn't know what a capitalist was. Ayn Rand, just her philosophies really opened up my mind and helped me to understand, you know, what a socialist was, what a capitalist was. After that, just really became more aware of politics, more aware of who I was politically, and I've read a lot of books since 2010, and it's really opened my mind. I thought I knew all growing up what I believe and why I believe it, and you know, with some things I did, but I've grown a greater understanding of why I believe the things I believe. I am a member of the Tea Party movement of Canada. The main thing Tea Party people, at least from what I understand, are for is for liberty and limited government, and I'm for both of those things. And so for a long time, I didn't really consider myself as a Tea Partier, but the more I talked to people that are more socialist views, more liberal views, I learned that I really, like, whether I wanted to state it or not, I was a Tea Partier, you know. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys make your own video. Tell us why you're conservative. Tell us why you're capitalist. Tell us why you're libertarian. You know, tell us why you're fighting for freedom. Why you think freedom's so important. And you know, let us know your age. Let us know maybe where you're from. Just let us get to know you a little bit.